Want to learn how to get a business analyst job? What a business analyst job description is in the first place, business analyst salary, business analyst interview questions, how to put together a business analyst resume, and overall how to become a business analyst. So what is a business analyst? So what's a bad answer to a question about valuing business process modeling? Well, it could be something like this. Well, I haven't really done much process modeling. I've seen others do it, but I mostly focus on gathering requirements. So one thing I don't necessarily like about this as an interviewer is candidates who haven't done anything at all and stated as haven't really done it or haven't done it much. There's a difference between zero and a little bit. So I think this is sort of a crutch sentence or a crutch phrase that interviewees use sometimes to soften the blow that they haven't done something. And I really feel like, again, I've interviewed probably a couple hundred people in my career. And from the perspective of an interviewer, we really value honesty. If you haven't done something, just say so. We might find great value in your experience somewhere else and accept you anyway. So just a piece of advice from someone who's interviewed many people: be honest about what you've done and what you haven't done. And hey, really accentuate the great stuff you've done while you're at it. So the fourth business analyst question that you might hear during an interview and how to answer it is, how do you handle conflicting requirements from different stakeholders? So this is really common in projects that business analysts work on. You may have your executive stakeholders who have an overall vision for the project and have a certain set of requirements that go along with it. And then you might be working with other business analysts at your customer or other people who are doing the work directly with their own customers who have a totally different perspective of what they're looking for in a solution. So you're going to hit conflicting requirements, if not on every project, somewhat often. So it's something that you need to be prepared for as a business analyst and frankly need to be willing to take on. Not everybody's built for that type of job. So what's an example of a good answer to this question? When faced with conflicting requirements, I believe in open communication and collaboration. I actively listen to each stakeholder's perspective and seek to understand their underlying concerns. Then I facilitate discussions to find common ground and identify a mutually agreeable solution. For instance, in a recent project, I scheduled a meeting with the stakeholders to discuss their conflicting requirements. By creating an open and inclusive environment, we were able to prioritize the shared objectives and find a solution that satisfied the majority of stakeholders. Reason why this is a great answer is, number one, it focuses on a technique we've talked about in several previous videos, which is active listening. And that is listening to the words, but seeking to understand the underlying concerns. This is an advanced technique that someone who hasn't been a successful business analyst in the past would not have mastered. It's something that needs practice and doesn't just come naturally to people. So I would love to hear something like this in an answer to this question during a business analyst interview. Also, for instance, denotes an example where I've done this before, again, showing examples, and then creating an open and inclusive environment. So collaboration, very important in the business analyst role. A bad answer to this would be, conflicting requirements are challenging and I'm not sure how to handle them. I usually pass them on to my manager and let them figure it out and give me some guidance on what to do. I hear this one a lot, unfortunately, during interviews. The way I would handle conflicting requirements is to have my manager handle it for me or tell me how to manage it. And unfortunately, this is not good when we're looking for a successful answer to this question. It's shirking responsibility, and business analysts just simply can't do that. So if you've stuck with me this far through the video, I hope you're getting some great value and want to be notified every time I drop the next piece of training in this series. Go ahead and subscribe to How to Be a Business Analyst below and click that bell button for all notifications. Once you've done that, drop me a comment in the comments below letting me know that you subscribed, and I'll go ahead and try to answer all of those comments personally. So the fifth common business analyst question and answer that you might encounter would be, can you share your experience with data analysis and its impact on your overall business analysis role? So analyzing data at the core of what business analysts do these days, and you want to hear something like this. Certainly, I've had extensive experience in data analysis and its impact on my business analysis role. In my previous role, I used tools like Excel, SQL, and data visualization software, and they can give you examples like Tableau or Power BI or Google Looker. to analyze large data sets and extract meaningful insights. For example, in a project focused on customer segmentation, I conducted data analysis to identify patterns and preferences among different customer segments, enabling the marketing team to develop targeted strategies that resulted in a 15% increase in customer engagement. I believe data analysis is crucial for making informed decisions and validating requirements. Why is this a good answer? For so many reasons. They give examples of tools they've used, they answer confidently, they give you a measurable increase in customer engagement, and then they give you a philosophy or belief at the end to tie it all together. This is just a wonderful answer to the question of how data analysis impacts business analysis. So an example of a bad answer to this: I haven't really done much data analysis. I don't mean to say this out loud, but I guess I will. If I heard this as an interviewer, I might stop listening. So data analysis is so important to the business analyst role that you can't say that you've not done it. It's fine, you just need to seek a different role. It's just business analysts won't be a good fit for someone who's never analyzed data. So if they say something like, I know how to use Excel a bit, but I haven't had the opportunity to work with large data sets, that would just be a flag that it's not a good fit, right? It doesn't have to be contentious. It's just that if you're saying that as a candidate, you would not be a good fit for most business analyst roles. So as I go through providing all this detailed knowledge for you on this channel based on my years of experience, I didn't want all these videos scattered all around to get away from you, so I decided to create a mini course that provides a checklist of 10 essential skills any aspiring business analyst needs to know, and I decided to provide it to you for free. So check the description below on 10 essential skills any aspiring business analyst needs to know. Click that link in the description below and grab your free digital download. Enjoy. So question number 6 that you might encounter in a business analyst interview and how to answer it would be, how do you prioritize requirements when faced with limited time or resources? So you might at first glance think, well, this is a project manager's problem. I'll just do whatever they tell me to do. But as a business analyst, again, you're asked to share responsibilities cross-functionally. So you'll have to be able to handle things like this and to allocate your own time. So a good answer to this might be prioritization is key in managing limited time and resources. This is how I prioritize. I consider factors such as business value, urgency of the request, and feasibility. I engage stakeholders to understand their priorities, and I align them with the project objectives. Additionally, I collaborate with the project team to evaluate the impact and effort required for each requirement. By conducting a cost-benefit analysis, I ensure that the most critical and achievable requirements are addressed first, maximizing the project's value. Why is this a good answer? Again, for a variety of reasons. One is they tell you right in the first word what the key to handling this is, and that is prioritization. They have, this candidate has a word ready to go because of their vast experience in this area on what the answer to this question is. So that's a great start. Then they talk about how they do this prioritization, and so it's through engaging stakeholders. They talk about the factors that are most important, like the business value, the urgency of the request, and so forth. They talk about the tools like cost-benefit analysis that they perform as part of this analysis, and then they tell you the expected outcome of that activity, which is ensuring the most critical and achievable requirements are addressed first. So a great package, it's all there. What might be a bad answer to this question? So something like this. It's difficult to prioritize requirements when resources are limited. I usually go with what the stakeholders think is most important, even if it's not feasible. So this is just crazy. You can't suggest something to a stakeholder that isn't feasible, because not feasible means you won't be able to do it. So business analysts are expected to leverage their expertise and communicate it confidently with their stakeholders so you can guide them through a process where they don't have all the answers. This is why they're coming to you. They have a business problem where they don't have all the answers, and they're relying on your expertise to guide them through. Hey, so one more quick tip for you. If you're thinking, hey, I have a great career too where I can share all these insights on the internet, how do I do that? I have a couple great links for you in the description below. One is Make Money Matt, who teaches how to monetize your skills and abilities online better than almost anybody I've found. And the second one is Teachable, a platform where you can create your very own online courses. Check the links out in the description below. So question number 7 that you might hear in a business analyst interview and how to answer it would be something like, have you encountered scope creep in projects and how did you handle it? Again, you might first think, well, this is a project manager's problem to handle. Why do I need to be able to handle scope creep? And the reason is because the business analyst is the one who's managing the requirements and who understands the requirements in the greatest detail. So yes, you'll have the project manager communicate scope creep with the stakeholders and get them back on track, but the business analyst needs to be the one to let the project manager know there's a risk and something's happening that's going to make the scope creep in the first place. Your project manager might not have the low level of technical detail knowledge about your solution to understand this unless you tell them it's coming. So what's a good answer to this? Yes, I've encountered scope creep in many projects. When faced with this, I emphasize the importance of clear requirements and effective change control processes, both internally and to my external customers. I ensure that the requested changes are thoroughly evaluated in terms of their impact on the project timeline, resources, and objectives. I engage stakeholders in transparent discussions. I present them with the implications of scope changes and potential trade-offs. By effectively communicating the impact of scope creep, I aim to maintain project alignment and deliver successful outcomes. So again, a confident, detailed answer here. Anything that talks about being open and honest is always good during an interview. So you don't want to, as an interviewee or as a candidate for a business analyst role, ever suggest any type of deception as an approach. You always want to emphasize open, honest communication. And I'll just tell you from my many years of experience, customers appreciate it. Even if they don't like what they're hearing, they're going to hear it later anyway because they might be asking for something that's not feasible. So if you're afraid to tell them now and you tell them later instead, they're going to be more angry later, believe me. So open, honest communication and making this known during the interview that you're open to this is a great answer here. A bad answer. Scope creep is always a problem during projects, and I usually just go along with the changes without questioning them. So you can tell why this is a bad answer. Some questions are expensive to implement. They might be out of the timeline and budget that the customer has available and just straight up not possible. So you can't always go with the flow as a business analyst. You do want to make your stakeholders feel important and feel that what they're requesting is something that you're hearing in great detail and really considering, but that doesn't mean you have to say yes to everything if you don't think they're going down the best path. They really do rely on business analysts to guide them through these projects.